In a world of podcasts, one rises in the night to destroy them all. The elder god in an ocean of noise, the Cthulhu of the airwaves. This is Spoiler Country.
Hey guys, hey, welcome back to Spoiler Country. I am Kenric Regan, of course. To my right, maybe to my left, I'm never too sure, is Muretta Moss. And you might actually recognize her. She's been in a plethora of movies and shows, and she's a writer and she's a real estate agent. And she has a new movie out on Paramount Plus. Is it on the Nickelodeon app as well?
It's going to be on It is on Nickelodeon. Sometimes I said run it consecutively. So yeah, still on Nickelodeon and Paramount Plus.
Yeah, and it's a Loud House Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad I said that right. I was so nervous.
You got it.
And it's awesome because you're playing the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming from a animated project on Nickelodeon that has a very diverse and very rabid fan base.
Yes.
Yeah. And so what was it like making that jump into the live action, knowing that there's a specific voice that they've heard all this time, a specific look, and then here you are trying to bring it to life?
It's interesting. When I auditioned, I was not familiar with the Loud House, and this is it's been running 5 seasons. It's won Emmys, so it was really interesting to open my eyes to more kids programming that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
But I did receive a link to the show and to read aloud, who was my character's name, and so I got to study her before I auditioned, and then so I was like, when I booked it, I was like, awesome, and I knew that Loud House was very successful, but then the more you're in it, you're like, oh, this is a bigger deal than I thought. Kids are into this. I mean, and it's a really fun show, so I get it. And playing a cartoon off of a cartoon character, hair, makeup, wardrobe, I mean, they took care of all of that.
That's awesome.
And I'm I got it because I have read aloud tendencies, and I like going big sometimes. And so it kind of felt natural when I talked to the director. He was like, we're not being cartoons. We are real people just based off of the cartoons. So it really did take the edge off. And once you get in character, you feel just like the superpower of acting comes over, because that's such a big part of it. Yeah. And I tweaked my voice just a little, but not really. So far I haven't gotten any, so far it's been kind out there.
Are there any kids in your life that knew exactly what the project you were doing?
So I kept it. I have 2 stepkids, and I did not share it with them. I wanted to surprise them with being in a movie that they could actually watch. But it's funny, my nephew had a birthday, and I went over there, and it was right after I wrapped filming, and I hadn't told my family, my sisters that either. And he was watching the Loud House, and I was like, oh, cool, you like this show? And then my sister goes, no, did you hear they're making a live action version? And I was like, I'm the mom.
I had no idea.
Here I am. And so I think that took them a while to grasp that, because it is my nephew's favorite show. Yeah. So that was a pretty fun explosion to share that with them.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
How excited were they when they found out that you're in it?
I'm gonna say they're excited, but also dumbfounded, because just it didn't comprehend, but very excited now that they're watching it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that came out, and it seems like it's been a big success.
Yeah, it was really fun before, because there were just so many promos, and even on the Nickelodeon show they had our little Loud House family, which is 11 kids, the friends, and then the parents. just like always on Nickelodeon doing a countdown. And it was like, oh, this is what fame feels like. Move over, Scarlett Johansson, here I am. But yeah, I forget what the question was now because I just got really excited about that.
It's all right. You perfect. When what affected Muretta to want to be an actress or an actor?
I don't know. Well, I do know. In college, I had a really hard time figuring out what I wanted to do. I didn't know any actors or actresses. TV was just something that you watch. Yeah. So there was a big movie that filmed on my university campus. It was Road Trip, and just like the first time I just like you step on to the set, and I was just like first an extra, and then we had auditions, and I was like a bigger role, not a big role, it got cut out, but like just stepping on a film set was so amazing. And so many people work together like as part of that collaboration, and I was like, oh, I want a part of this. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And so I started taking acting classes. I transferred schools to be like closer into like the city and then regional commercials. It was in Atlanta. And so I just kind of started that way and then moved to LA, and now I'm back in Atlanta. It's such a bustling town, and there's so much thriving talent here that I don't feel as big of a stigma as it once.
Yeah, I like Atlanta a lot. I'm going to be there on Monday, actually. I'm there for the whole week.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to go to Bones for dinner on Monday and just kind of doing all that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And you're kind of lucky because Atlanta has exploded when it comes to movies and TV shows. There's a lot of action going on there.
It is incredible. Like it still blows my mind because it used to be just like New York and LA, and now like Atlanta, it's legit. Like what we shoot here,
it's like Vancouver.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they go to Vancouver a lot, and now it's Atlanta all the time. I don't know if it started with The Walking Dead or if it was before The Walking Dead that things started to come together, but now it's like I feel like every time I see movies, like a ton of the Marvel stuff, you would see Peach. Was it Tree or whatever, for Georgia? And a lot of the TV shows now all shot right there.
Everything Marvel is shot. I mean, they do some stuff. Right. I shouldn't say everything, but Marvel is like here, and and it's great to see just all of our like this community kind of rise up and get bigger and bigger roles and on these like amazing projects.
Yeah. So I know you do realty, and I was kind of hoping to pick your brain a little bit. I just bought a house.
Congrats.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's my third house that I've purchased for myself, but there was like a 10-year lag there. Life. But being a working actress, do you prefer actor or actress, or do you care?
I don't care, but I do. Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. So being a working actor, and because you are I'm like, go look up Muretta's IMDb. You'll be shocked. You have Ebenezer Falls that you said you wrapped up yesterday. You have a TV show coming out. You just did the Louder House Christmas, which is the Loud House Christmas. That's amazing. And you do real estate. How do you balance all this? And maybe you can give some tips to some of the other actors and actresses out there that are similar.
Yeah. So I found that real estate was a good fit for me as someone who I cannot go into an office and do 9 to 5. One, because of just like auditions and the acting life, but also my brain will like, I just cannot.
You got to be
tempt for like 1 day a week for like when I first moved back to Atlanta, and I was like figuring it all out, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can't do this. It was only 1 day a week, and I thought that it was the worst thing ever. So real estate, it's always different. Yeah. Even though like my office is my car, I like just blowing through podcasts and you get to work with really great people. And that was but it does get really busy, and my biggest fears happen to book something and have a closing on the same day. So I kind of, if I know that this is like between you and me and your podcast listeners, it's like something that is like a great project, then I like send someone in for me on the closing. Right. But if I know they're like, hey, they want to put you on like a veil for this commercial, I'm like, I'm going to make more money selling this. And this is, even though like it's so great being on set, like I usually like toss the commercials and we'll do the closing, because my clients are like so important. This is one of the biggest things they're going to make in their life, and I respect that and honor like our relationship. So it is hard to balance, and especially with the last market. I was doing real estate while I was shooting the Loud House, and I just would ask my peers, like, hey, can you please show this house? The client wants this. And I was honest with them, being like, this has happened. I'm going to be, working consecutively for 5 weeks. And they're like, oh, but we still want you. So
that's cool.
Okay, great. Yeah. But I work with a lot of artists who get it, and even a lot of first-time home buyers. So that adds like a different level to it. But you really become close with your clients.
I mean, but it shows that you can love acting, but still have another career that can supplement while you work towards this.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in LA, I worked in restaurants the entire time. So being able to have a career where I have control over it is great for acting. Yeah, I always wish that I had like a trade, that I could have, like, when I started, because I was like, no, I'm gonna, like, I just thought restaurants for a year and then stardom, and that just isn't my journey. I've had a very long, twisty journey.
Yeah. It's like, did you ever watch The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah.
It's like Penny. She was, when the guy was asking her, so do you have a backup plan? TV star. Came to LA to be a movie star. What's your backup? TV star. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah. I can see that. It's good. And I guess Atlanta right now that's the place to be for that. So you never know.
Yeah. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. So Intersection, what can you tell us about Intersection? It's a TV show. I haven't heard a lot. I know that you guys are in post-production. That means you've done filming the whole season, or just a specific amount of episodes? We
filmed 6 episodes, and now we are shopping it around. We're doing like big festivals. We'll see if we get in Sundance. I don't, I'm so optimistic that I'm like, of course we will, but who knows? But we wrapped that in the beginning of March. We were supposed to shoot right when lockdown happened in 2020. And that just got, we were all, who knew? Like, it was just a crazy time. So we actually spent the next year rewriting it and making it better. So I'm excited. I actually play a real estate agent in it. It's about gentrification and how it affects like a town, and you,
a dramatic effect or a dramatic comedy, or
it's a dark comedy, and nice. And it's hard to find the funny sometimes in these type of
life is the funniest.
Sometimes we're like, you either have to laugh or cry, so let's try and laugh. But I play like a real estate agent that is just like a shark and like ready to like flip houses and doesn't care. So is your character like really a driving force of the gentrification? One of them. I mean, there's so many forces, and we have the future set up a little bit like The Wire, which is my favorite, where we're first in like just the neighbors, the community, and then we'll go to like the political side of it, and we'll go to like just, businesses and investors. So each season will be just a different focus. Still, the main characters will follow through, but we'll have more specific players coming up.
Oh, that's awesome. Were you part of the writing team on that one?
Yeah. So based on with some of my friends who were co-creators, I sold Meg Messmer, the executive producer, a home, and she flipped it. And so it's a lot based on our real life experiences, because we didn't realize, I guess when I started real estate, I didn't quite realize like some of the effects that it has, and everyone deserves, affordable housing but what it can do to a community, especially here in Atlanta, where it already has such racial tensions just from the past. And you still feel it and you can still see it. So so anyways, I sold her home and she's like, oh, and I've had so many kind of a little bit of like cringeworthy experiences just as a real estate agent. So I used a lot of my real life experience. And I mean, it's also like a heightened version of me. I always say it is fiction. It is definitely fiction, but there's a lot of truth in comedy.
Kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm. They're playing themselves, but it's pretty dark. Gentrification is a weird subject. I'm in Seattle. And in the 90s, I'm in my 20s, and I'd go to Capitol Hill, and it was an amazing place. And you can get a studio for like $700 a month, $800 a month, even cheaper in some of them. And the area was filled there was all sorts of people there, and artists and musicians, and you know what I mean? Everything was right there. It was just an amazing place to go. And come the 2000s, they slowly, those rents started going up. Selling, Amazon came in. All of a sudden, people had millions of dollars, or overnight millionaires, because they got a job at Amazon. They got a bunch of stock, and then the stock went up, and all of a sudden they're millionaires, and Microsoft and all these people. And all of a sudden, that same apartment that was 700 today goes for like 4,500, And those people can, and so all of those amazing people that were there have all been pushed out. It's become a completely different experience there. And it's not the same. It's kind of ruined the soul of what Seattle was.
It is really hard to have that growth and development and not have displacement. I mean,
but what do you do when people are willing, when you have somebody that's owned, like there was a guy that owned the apartment complex there from the 70s. And then in the 2000s, someone goes and offers them, 30 times more than what he thought it was worth. What do you do,
you can't, I mean, you can't blame it, because like, what is he going to be, like the one holdout and like the only one that's not multi-millionaire?
It's life-changing money, not just for him, but for his descendants, It's like, you can't blame them. All you can do is really, I don't know, maybe the city can do something, but
even that's why it's so complicated, because like, yes, gentrification is bad, but development is good. And and depending on who you ask, because you can ask people who have been in their homes for decades, and they love the new sidewalks and bike lanes, and if that gets out, like the riffraff or whatever, but yet like families are being displaced, and here we see them like move further out and into like extended stay hotels, and that's not like sustainable. We don't have solutions. So that is why, like with this show, it is to get people talking, and
that's awesome.
Hopefully, and hopefully, like a lot has to do with like local laws and development, but like you said, you can't blame the landlord for wanting to.
I mean, they made an investment to make money, and if they're there for that long and they go through it, it's hard.
Yeah.
So did you, and is it Jacinti, or did I say that right?
Jacinti,
Jacinti and Deja, did you guys all work together on this and then come up with the development, or did somebody have the idea and come?
No, well, so Deja is a very talented actress. She's on everything. So she was just an actress. Jacinta, Jenica, Meg Mesmer, and then Karen. There were 5 of us in the writers' room, an all women's writers' room. And so
all women's writers too?
Yeah.
Cooler.
Yeah, we really tried. I had one moment where it's like
fun.
A male perspective, and then we were like, well, we did talk. We tried to, we just found the people that gelled, but we were like, men aren't asking this, so we became Meg. She is an idea, and she's just a great producer. She gets things done. She had talked to me about it, and I was like, yeah, but like, okay, like people talk about stuff all the time. And then our friend Jenica, she talked to Jenica, who's my best friend, and was like, oh, we're doing this. And so it's been a long time coming, a couple years of just researching, because there's so much you don't know, and there's a wealth of information, no solutions, and then creating it and trying to do it. Because it actually is like three white women that like started this, but we're talking about gentrification and displacing people of color, and it gets really complicated. And we don't want to be the sole.
We can only commiserate as white people in that experience. We can only commiserate so far, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't have the same experience.
Right.
So
right.
You need to have somebody that has that, can kind of explain it and
understand like being marginalized. So
you have to be open to it too. Sometimes when you talk to people, it's hard for them to be a part of something that has that conversation, because then they feel attacked, and it's not about attacking, it's just about educating, and sometimes it's hard to come to terms with it. I have a lot of friends because I grew up in a very small town called Bremerton, a lot of blue collar workers, overtly white, just what it is, and they have a hard time some of my old friends have a hard time understanding that hump to get over, to be like, it's not about attacking you, it's just about trying to set things so you have an understanding of where they're coming from. And sometimes if you don't have an open mind, it's not going to happen. And it's weird that TV shows like that help.
I think that the storylines in here are for everyone that could sit and watch it and get something out of it, and hopefully like see themselves in like some way, neither good nor bad,
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys find something soon, because I really want to check it out.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm excited. I maybe a streaming service, or whatever you guys got to do.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun. Well, Muretta, thank you so much for coming on. Anytime you have a project, please reach out. You are a hoot to talk with. And I hope the Loud House Christmas becomes something that's yearly,
Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll have a sequel. Who knows? Yeah. Lots of holidays.
Or, hopefully it becomes part of families' every year Christmas things. Like I watch Christmas Vacation every year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so hopefully it'll become one of those.
It's definitely it's like fast moving and something that like the families can watch so I hope so. Yeah, it's streaming on Paramount Plus. So
all right, guys. Well, thanks for coming. Muretta, thank you so much. Hope to hear from you soon.
Yeah, thank you. This was great.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Spaghetti! And we're back. That's right. We are back. Back in the saddle again. Well, I hope you guys really, really enjoyed that as much as we did making it for you. And if you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, you got to go check out spoilerverse.com, because at spoilerverse.com, we have a plethora, amazing directors and artists of all walks of life, and editors and writers, and oh my God, are you a lover of comic books like we are? Then there's so many amazing people from the comic book world over at spoilerverse.com, and I highly implore you to go there and check it out.
Yeah, and while you're there, you can check out all the other podcasts on our network, like Bridges and Geekdoms and Funny Book Forensics and Haphazard Adventures and Nerds from the Crypt and so many more.
Misery
We put out
Point Radio.
episodes all the time. Go check all of them out. And Check out all of the reviews and previews and articles we have going up every single day for you. Every day on Spoilerverse.com for you to check out, to read, and to love, and to like, and to comment. We have a store link. If you want to help support the site, you can do it two ways. One, go to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/spoilercountry, or go to our store link in the middle of the site there and get a t-shirt, a face mask, a hoodie, something, look fly as hell, and help support the site when you do that, because we get $1 or $2. And, maybe you want to talk to us. If you do, you can do it obviously on all the socials, but if you go to scpod.us/Discord, you can join our public Discord server and come chat with us all day long.
I couldn't say it better myself, dude.
There you go.
You just mouthed out a ton of information at once. And really, I hope you guys enjoy what you're hearing, because we're working our butts off to bring it to you.
We are.
I guess there's only one left thing. Yeah, I'm going to go with it. There's only one left thing left to do.
What's that?
In oceans of podcasts,